There was something I was going to do, and I cannot remember to save my life. Hello and welcome back to my channel. I'm JJ the Bearded Bookworm, and today I'm going to be doing a review of Kingdom of Liars. Kingdom of Liars is a novel by Nick Martell. It is his debut as an author. I first heard about Kingdom of Liars from one of Brandon Sanderson's live streams where he talked about books that he'd been recently reading, and he highly recommended this book. Kingdom of Liars takes place in this kingdom where 10 years ago the king's son was murdered by the king's right-hand man. Now 10 years later, after being branded a traitor along with the rest of his family and having to scrape and scheme and do kind of shady stuff to survive, Michael's given an opportunity to go back into noble society and is able to find out what really happened surrounding the king's son's death. Whenever Michael goes to think back on that night that changed his life, he only has this searing white blankness and doesn't know anything. It's a complete blank. And so by going back into noble society, he's hoping to be able to find out what happened, because he has no recollection and doesn't know anything that happened. He just assumes his father is guilty, just like everybody else does. Now in this world there are people called fabricators, and fabricators are fairly common. Fabricators basically this world's word for magic user. Fabricators are basically able to manipulate every type of element or type of magic that you can think of. Your fire, or your water, your light, darkness, electricity, wood, you name it, there's probably a fabricator that can do that. But by using this magic, it comes at a high price. The more magic you use and the more powerful the magic is that you use, the more memory that gets taken and gets erased. So at a certain point, these magic users will become what people call the Forgotten, which is almost like a dementia or Alzheimer's state where they just cannot remember anything. They were a shell of their former selves. And so it's really exciting because anytime anybody uses magic, it's coming at a very high cost. So our main character, Michael Kingman, like I said, the book is told from his perspective. It's a first-person story, and I don't know if this is the right term, but unreliable narrator. The reason why I say that is because in this world, the more magic that is used, the more memory that is erased. And so by going through the story, you don't know what's been changed or manipulated, or if he even remembers the real events. Michael's a young kid. He's 18 or something like that. And so he has gone through his whole life having to scrape and scheme and do all these things to meet ends meet to take care of his family. The book starts out with a line, says something to the effect of, "I'm not trying to defend myself as doing what's right, but hopefully by telling my story, you can see that I did what I felt I had to." And going through the story, Michael is a frustrating character. He's not constantly making bad choices, but he's not making the best choices that you can tell. On one hand, he's got all these prejudices about nobles and people that basically threw his family in the gutter. At the same time, he comes from this noble family and all the history that comes with that, and so he's trying to live up to being the last kingman. I should say he's not actually the last kingman. He's got his brother, his sister, and his mother, but he feels he's the only one that cares about being a kingman and what that entails. Kingdom of Liars has a strong theme of family and what that means. Family is family. You do what you have to do for family. You do anything for family. As I was going through, I was highlighting every time something to that effect was mentioned, because not just Michael, but his sister, his brother, his friends, his found family where he works with and schemes with, and even other people are just constantly, their family. It's such a driving factor of the story that despite Michael making such bad decisions, you can't help but understand his motivations and feel for his motivations of he's doing it for his family. Overall, Kingdom of Liars is a very solid debut novel. It does a good job of giving you enough information, but not holding your hand and not just info dumping a lot of stuff. There are a few info dumps because, it's a whole new world. You gotta figure out what's going on there. When those info dumps do happen, it's pertaining directly to what's happening immediately. I love this book. Its magic system is such high stakes with the whole payment of memory. It's such a high stakes game where if you're going to use your magic, it's going to come at the cost of you losing some memory somewhere. And you don't have control over that. So eventually, you could forget about your family altogether. The second book, The Two-Faced Queen, comes out in March. And honestly, right now, it's my most anticipated release for 2021. I'm thoroughly excited. I love this book. So there you have it. That's my review for Kingdom of Liars. Let me know down in the comments if it's something that interests you or if you've read it. What was your favorite parts? Don't forget to like and subscribe if you haven't already. I'm JJ the Bearded Bookworm, and I'll see you tomorrow.